Don't get too close to me. I've got PTSD. And I turn the news on when I hear All right. What's going on, my people? How we doing? Okay, the Twitch is live. The YouTube is live. Perfecto. Alright. Where we at? Oh, right. Let me make sure I can see myself. Turn off that. Beautiful. Karibo. My guy, what's up? How you doing today, bro? Shinigami, what's good, bro? I actually just saw your message on Discord. Yeah, no, I meant to ask you about your drawings, actually. Is that your MC who you're showing me? Is that your MC? Things coming along, man. It's looking good. It's looking nice. I like what I'm seeing. Definitely. Okay, we got Shinuchi in the building. All right. So real quick, before we start reading, I want to go over a conversation that I was having on Twitter today. All right. And Godflow, if you see this / when you see this, I do this with love. I do this with all love and respect, you know, because I do fuck with you. But the conversation does have to be like addressed, at least in my opinion. So we're going to go over this and dissect it bit by bit, claim by claim, point by point. And we'll try and keep it as organized as possible. So the conversation today was, how did it even start? Yeah, it's my MC, just wondering which one you like more. I'll look at it, bro. I'll definitely check it out. Let me find out where this even started at. Because I'm pretty sure it started off by you helping me with a conversation I was having with Karibo as far as the Izanagi, I think. Let me go find it all, though. Yeah, where does he start? Alright. You know what? We might as well just review what me and Karibo have been talking about too, kind of, I guess. Kind of. I don't want to get too much into that, because that's still technically an ongoing conversation. Technically. But anyways, me and Karibo are having a good conversation. We're talking, yada, yada, yada. Godflow joins in, not a problem. He asks, when was Danzo killed by 3 kunai from Sasuke? Because the argument Karibo was making was that Izanagi only activated upon death. I argued it activated at the user's discretion. They can use it whenever they want. Whenever they get injured, whenever they die, whenever they get harmed. Hell, whenever they get inconvenienced, they can use Izanagi. This was what I was arguing. And I pretty much summed that up for him. I said, Karibo thinks the 3 kunai killed him when Danzo was continuously spamming Izanagi. I remember this scene in the anime, but I don't know if it happens in the manga. So Godflow, he does his best to help the conversation. You know, he's providing panels and stuff. He says, it's understandable to think you have to die to use Izanagi, but Obito explained that it can rewrite reality if the person gets hurt or killed. Basically what I just said, right? At the user's convenience and all this other stuff. Now, Godflow ends up making another comment under this conversation. And this is in regards to me reading the series. He says, Boruto movie light novel states that Boruto and Sarada are Jonin level in that arc, and they was already stated to be tuning in the academy. He says, I don't care about your opinion about the scaling in Naruto / Boruto, but I wanted to correct you on something I heard in that video. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know what exactly I said. I wish he would have put it in quotes more. That would have been really helpful. But, okay, I say, all right, number one, who stated it? And then why should I believe the novel over the manga? And let's just address that real quickly. when we're talking about the manga versus any other piece of material, the manga will always come first. I don't understand how this isn't common sense, especially for power scalers. I don't understand how this isn't common sense. So him telling me about a movie, much less a movie novelization of that same movie, right? I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this, because at that point we have three mediums of literature. We have the fucking manga, we have the movie, and then we have the movie novelization. At what point am I supposed to decide which one do I fucking use? Well, I mean, I know which one to use, but at what point, if we're having a discussion and something contradicts the novel versus the manga, like, I know what I'm taking my precedent from the manga, but how do I get you to also take the precedent from the manga if you believe you can use all interpretations? So that's the first big issue we have with this stuff. So yeah, I say who stated it, and then why should I believe the novel or the manga? He says the narrator of all people. So this doesn't even come from a character stating that they're Jonin level. This comes from the omnipotent narrator, which actually might be a little bit more credit to them, right? The fact that it does come from the narrator, right? So he says, no, it's not hyperbolic or anything like that. There was Chunin level before they graduated the exams. And then he shows me something from the anime. And then first thought in my head is, all right, if we're using anime stuff, I might as well just go back to every iteration of Bleach as far as the anime is concerned and use anything I want from the anime in Bleach. Because there's a lot of things you can use to upscale the anime, or upscale Bleach using the anime itself, right? Then he says, what you mean? It's not like the manga said otherwise. They're both canon, so it doesn't matter which one you take, to be honest. But the manga also doesn't state that. Yes, the manga doesn't say otherwise, but the manga also doesn't state that. That's the big issue here. Narrator evaluation time. Yeah. So, and mind you, it's not, this discussion isn't even that deep to me. Not yet, but it gets there. So I say, I mean, and I'll admit, this comment right here is me baiting. I'm not going to lie. This was me baiting because I was at work. I had 2 hours to spare. I was a little bored. But still, I said, I mean, not like the ninja levels or ranks matter, laughed my ass off. I was just curious. This is a bait comment. I can admit to that. I said, since reading this, I've seen Boruto call more shots and perform better feats than that fraud Konohamaru. So he and Team 7 might as well be Jonin tier anyway. At that point, mind you, I'm not saying they are, but based off of my reading so far, they might as well be Jonin tier anyway. What's good, Lightspeed? How you doing, bro? Right, we're gonna start reading at 8 o'clock. I just wanted to go over this Twitter conversation I had with Godflow real quick because it gets kind of weird. You guys are gonna see it. So he says, yeah, but it doesn't change the fact that Konohamaru is a special Jonin that can go on S-rank missions on his own. He still had to teach them things, even if they were stronger than him. He couldn't release his role as captain until somebody became Chunin, and Sarada did that. My reply is, Konohamaru, and you guys saw this because we all read it together. Hold up. There's no contradiction when it comes to new Team 7 all being Jonin tier. All right. So here's the thing. Where in the manga that I have been reading have they been stated to be Jonin tier? That's number one. And I'm going to tell you, we're going to go through why it doesn't matter. But when people say things, I at least like to have some marker for where you're getting your ideas from. Where was this stated that they all became Jonin tier in the manga that I'm reading? That's my first question. So yeah. I say Konohamaru saw Garo and changed the mission rating to S rank. We literally read this and saw this. Konohamaru saw Kawaki and Garo fighting, and he changed it to S rank, right? Then I said he saw Kawaki shit on Garo. Special Jonin also doesn't mean anything. Who cares if he has better leadership skills? He says all I'm hearing is opinion, and that's fine. He only called it an S rank because enemies he said Awa, Koji, Kawaki, Garo kept coming and they was tired. Konohamaru was worried about his team getting caught in this situation. He could have beat Garo on his own or with Team 7. And then I called it. I said, nah, champ. He called it an S rank mission at the sighting of Garo. Koji came later, if I'm not mistaken, which is actually true. Well, it's true in the sense that Koji did appear, but he only changed the mission. He only changed the mission to S rank once he saw Garo and Kawaki. So he said, literally called it an S rank when Kawaki and Garo started fighting. Bro, just stop talking at this point. And it's really weird that he's the one that said Ao, Koji, Kawaki, and Garo, but only... I can't even zoom in on it. Yeah. Only Garo is down there. Konohamaru doesn't even know Delta and Koji are here. So that's another thing. Oh no, what did I do? Naruto was forced to use Sage Mode against Kid Konohamaru and lost the tourney to him. Yeah, that's crazy too. Hold up, guys. Hold up, y'all. Hold up. We didn't even get to the crazy part. Wait till we get to the crazy part of this conversation. You know, I'll just skip to it because... wait, I gotta give you context. Okay, so not this part of the conversation. Let me go to the other part of the conversation. Because it gets to a crazy part, and I'm just like, bro, there's no way. Messages. Alright, yeah, when we get to the part about ninja ranks and shit like that, that's the more important part. Okay. So mind you, while we're having this conversation, there is another side conversation that me and Godflow are having. So let's go back to when I said, I mean, it's not like ninja levels or ranks matter. Laughed my ass off. I was just curious. He says it does. I didn't say anything about the rank. I'm talking about the skill level that they was at. Jonin. Oh, no, skill level they were at. Jonin learned more than one chakra nature. Naruto rank was genin in Shippuden, but he was Jonin level in skills, and we've seen that with his fights. Same thing about Boruto and Sarada. Mind you, pay attention to how all this goes, right? So my claim is that ninja ranks don't matter. He says it does matter, right? We have he's talking about skill level and Jonin need to learn more than one chakra nature and all this other stuff. So I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, the rank, pay attention, y'all. Yeah, the rank, let me zoom in. Oh, that was way too damn far. So I say, yeah, the rank and the skill are associated, but the determining factor for strength, fuck, is this a different one, bro? Hold up. God, man. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so the rank and the skill are associated, but not the determining factor for strength. Hence why I said it's not like him being that tier or any other tier matters, right? So my claim is that the ranks don't matter as far as what you are in Naruto. He says it does. As far as he says Naruto was ranked genin, but he was at the level of a Jonin. And I say, yeah, the rank and the skill are associated, but not the determining factor for strength. He doubles down. He says, what? It is a determined factor for strength. I don't know what KMSL means, but he says it is a determined factor for strength. He then says, ranking doesn't matter if they like in Naruto's situation. All the other times, it does matter when they're power scaling characters in verse. He says, it does matter, sir, and to be honest, you need to reread Naruto if you can't understand that. What the fuck was that? All right. Now, mind you guys, the claim for me is it doesn't matter as far as ninja ranks and tiers and all that stuff. He's saying it does matter. I say the strength of a ninja could be associated with their tier, but that tier doesn't determine how powerful they actually are. Very convenient, he mentions Naruto as if that's going to be some like one-time thing or special cause or case study of Naruto being the exception to the rule or something like that. So he says what he says. I say again, it doesn't matter because the tiers aren't locked behind a measurable standard of power. I say, you bring up Naruto like he's special, but several lower ranked ninja can beat ninja of a higher rank. And that's because strength isn't the determining factor for rank. Mind you, this is my claim. To be a Jonin, there is no determined power level to be a fucking Jonin. Anyone can be a fucking Jonin. You don't have to be able to summon Gamabunta. You don't gotta learn the Rasengan. You don't have to have a certain chakra cap, right? You don't have to have a certain AP, right? You do have to be strong. That's why I said it can be associated with your tier, but it's not the determining factor, right? So he then says, the ranks are measured in their own ways. Now get this. He clears this up, but get this. He says 90% of low-ranked ninjas have high skills, have high skill levels. He then says Naruto is a primary example of low rank but high skills. Wouldn't that go into my fucking point of me saying your rank doesn't have to correlate with your power? Would it not? Because if 90%, let me just read it. Laugh my fucking ass off. If 90% of ninja are of a lower rank but have skill levels higher than their rank suggests, this proves my fucking point of strength not being the determining factor. My fault. Let me read that again. If 90% of let me calm down first off. This is just funny to me. Let me calm down though. If 90% of ninja are of a lower rank but have higher skill levels or have skill levels higher than their rank would suggest, this would prove my point of strength not being the determining factor. Anyone with a brain will tell you simply being a Jonin doesn't mean you beat a genin or a chunin. Is this true? If you are a Jonin, does this mean you beat every chunin and genin you come across? No, it doesn't. Because Jonin is not a level of, it's not a tier of power. I'm sorry, no. Let me stop saying that. Jonin is a tier of power, right? But it doesn't have a standard of measurable power. That's what I should be saying. The rank of Jonin doesn't have a standard of measurable power. And then I say, which also reinforces those ranks not being backed by a measurable standard of power. He says, ranks are measured in their own ways. Now, listen to this, guys. This is how you know when someone's caught. Because now the conversation is ranks are measured in their own way. Very interesting, because we were talking about power levels before and people being stronger. Very interesting. Now they're measured in their own ways. Please understand common shit. Not everything is difficult to understand. Anyone with the brain and that actually read the series can tell you that, can tell you what I meant. I say, look how you're saying everything but what I'm addressing. Laugh my ass off. If you knew what we were talking about, you actually wouldn't be disagreeing with me, but you want to be right so bad that you're arguing a point you agree with. I know for a fact that Godflow agrees with me when I say all Jonin do not beat all genin in chunin. I know he agrees with me when I say Jonin does not have a measurable standard for power. I know he agrees with me for that. He said, seeing guys get crash out is crazy. Hey, yo, bro. I'm trying. Yo. All right. Average Jonin. This is from Karibo. Average Jonin can beat average chunin consistently. That's not the conversation. It's nice. I appreciate the 2 cents. That's not the conversation, though. What I said was very specific and honed on a very important point, right? And mind you, I did say, yes, the ranks and the skill are associated. And that actually goes into your point, Karibo, right? I don't think I would disagree with the average beating the average. That was never my thing, though. My thing was ranks can be superseded by skill, which is something he fucking says when he brings up Naruto. You know who else was a low rank but superseded their skill at the time? Itachi when he was a kid. Shusui when he was a kid. We can even use Naruto since he's bringing up Naruto. Gaara. Minato when he was probably a kid. Kakashi when he was probably a kid. There's like an innumerable number, not innumerable. There's a lot of people though that were at the rank of genin or chunin that were outright killing killing chunin or like special jonin or ambus, however you want to say it. Anyways, my overall point in all this is he's saying that the kids are at Jonin level. I'm like, okay, cool. It's not like Jonin level actually means something in the series anyway. His rebuttal is, no, Jonin's a level of power. We can determine these things. And no, you can't actually. There's no barometer for being a fucking Jonin, right? His first thing is Jonin know a second nature. Cool. When did learning just a second nature boost your overall power though? And then when did that become the standard for being a Jonin? What's Guy's second nature? Anybody know that? Guy's a Jonin. Questions we can't answer, right? Now look where it gets crazy. Look where it gets crazy. He's saying, I'm being straight up honest and not sugarcoating anything. I do know what I'm talking about. I didn't forget or get lost, bruh. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's not my fault you don't understand what I'm saying. Want to be right? I am right. Laughed my ass off because I said he wants to be right. So, where do I say this? All right, hold up. All right. He says something. I can't remember where it's at. Let me see if it's over here. So yeah, he says ranks are measured in a way. I don't remember how we got to it, but I end up saying, let's test your logic. And then I ask him, can all Jonin beat all Chunin and Genin? Which I know he doesn't agree with. Now, conveniently enough, this is when he wants to stop playing the game. He says, didn't you skim through the series? You have no questions for me. Mind you, this was another conversation because I told him that I skimmed through Boruto to really get the feats out the way. I'm not really interested on how Katatsuki's fucking day is going, etc., etc. So, yeah. He says, didn't you skim through the series? You have no questions for me. You know more than I do, apparently, right? He's clearly playing. Then I'm like, I bet. Debate over then, and I accept your concession, GG. Because if we're going to do that, then ain't nothing to talk about. If I can't test your logic, if I can't verify logically what you're saying and try and flip the logic that you're applying back on yourself, if you want to disengage, then that's fine. You can do that. But at the end of the day, that would be a concession towards my way that I would take from you. Now, there's a lot more as far as overall to that conversation, because mind you, we were having about 5 conversations. Or no, we were having like 4 conversations, 4 to 5 conversations. Anyways, 7:50. Okay, we still got 7 minutes, so we can look at some of me and Karibo's conversation, because that one was fun. Oh shit, Red's in here. Hold up. He said, "I'm here, bro. Just my comment." Hey yo, bro, I just went through it, bro. I was tearing you up. I'm not gonna lie. All right. But nah, let me do it like this, Godflow, so you can hear me in person and get my full perspective. And if I don't say anything, you can probably go back to the first maybe 10 minutes of the live. I'll go through it. And since you're here, hey, you can address this in person. We actually might start the live a little late today, guys, because Godflow he pulled up early. Hold up. Let me find it. All right. So actually, let me just do this. Hold up. Sound Force struggle against special Jonin and they weaker than regular Jonin. All right. That's non sequitur. That's like, listen. Let me ask you this, Godflow. Let me ask you this. Because you didn't want to answer this when I was texting it, which is also, I mean, you told me why you did it because you don't like repeating yourself. Granted, right? You know what? We'll do it like this. Let me try and find the beginning of our conversation. And I'll tell you what didn't make too much sense to me. Well, not even not made sense. Everything you said made sense. I understood it, but I didn't agree with it. All right, let's start back up here. You told me at 8 left my house. Yeah, no, I know, bro. I know. I told you at 8, but I'm supposed to start reading at 8, So I needed like 30 minutes to address this. Plus, I kind of knew that you would watch the live anyway, so I figured you could catch it like that. But it's fine. We'll push this. We'll push the live back until after we can wrap this up. But let's just go over this point by point real quick. Let's do it point by point, right? So you say Boruto the movie light novel states that Boruto and Sarada, and mind you, for everyone that was here, I'm not going to rehash everything I just said. I'm going to give him the cliff notes and the opportunity to respond to it. Yeah, you said, I don't care about your opinion about the power scaling in Naruto / Boruto, but I wanted to correct you on something I heard in the video, and that being that they were already Jonin level, right? I say what I say, why should I believe the novel or the manga? You say what you say, that part's, all this stuff is cool, it's not that important. Hey, what's good, Ronin? How you doing, bro? All right, so let's get into the ranks not mattering, right? I say, I mean, it's not like the ninja ranks matter. Laugh my ass off, I was just curious. Then I say, since reading, I've seen Team 7, yada, 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 right? We're talking about Garo, Konohamaru, No, this is the tangent. Hold up. I'm telling you, yeah, no, that's the tangent. One thing we have to stop doing, Godflow, we need to stop making so many side tangents, because when I do video reviews like this, it makes it really hard to find out like where I'm at. But give me a second, I'm gonna find it again. Okay, I think you responded to this one. Okay, yeah, so I bring up the fact that since reading Boruto, Boruto has been calling more shots and performed better than Konohamaru, right? You say, yeah, but it doesn't change the fact that Konohamaru is still a special Jonin. Like, that means something. That can go on S-rank missions on his own. Again, that doesn't mean too much to me. He still had to teach them things, and even if they were stronger than him, he couldn't release his role as captain until someone became a Chunin, and Sarada did that. All right, so then we have conflict. We have conflicting things like that, all right? You say they're at Jonin level. You say they're at Jonin level, which I'm assuming would be power, but they themselves aren't even all Chunin. I think in that comment, you're just saying Sarada is a Chunin, and then he couldn't release them or have them go on missions by themselves because they're not Jonin, but they have Jonin level experience, right? Cool. Let's see where we get to. Okay, here we go. I'm telling you from my perspective, it's the same shit. He wouldn't change its rank not knowing what God can do. Okay, your perspective is wrong. Not this one. No, not that one. I'm not impersonating anybody. I'm a god in my own realm. Laugh my ass off. That's funny. All right. So let's just focus on this conversation. Then I guess it's a little hard to find exactly where we were talking about, right? So Godflow, you say, yeah, I agree that they both Jonin level in power, but they don't have Jonin level experience. Okay, cool. Jonin level in power. Let's talk about that. You say it does. I didn't say anything about the rank. I'm talking about the skill level that they was at, right? Then you say Jonin learned more than one chakra nature. You say Naruto's rank was genin in Shippuden, but he was a Jonin level in skill as well, and we see that with his fights. Same thing with Boruto and Sarada. Now, this is where I think Godflow, this is where you might get like not confused, but I be thinking you be wanting to argue sometimes and you don't actually look at what I'm saying. Because this is right here is me agreeing with you. I just don't agree fully with the concept, right? So you're saying that Naruto was a genin in Shippuden that had the skill of a Jonin, much like Boruto and Sarada. I say, yeah, the rank and skill level are associated, but not the determining factor for strength. Why would I be saying this, Godflow? I'll tell you. Because in Naruto, there is no standard set. There is no power limit cap. There is nothing that stops any rank from being a certain level of strength. There's nothing that has there's nothing in the series that shows us a certain rank is a level of strength. Before you came in here, Can we get the likes up, man? Share the video. Get the likes up, share. I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna stop talking. Get them damn likes. The likes up, share the video. Likes up, share the video. All right. Back to it. So yeah. Godflow. The rank and the skill levels are associated, but not the determining factor. Right? So Naruto isn't like Yu Yu Hakusho or Bleach or fucking what's another series that would have something like this? Those are the only two I can think of off the top of my head, right? In Yu Yu Hakusho, you actually have classes of power. You have S class, you have A class, you have B class, C class, and D class. You have classifications of power where things are capped. There's a minimum, there's a high minimum, and then there's the highest bar you can go within your class. Within Bleach, you have third seats, fourth seats, fifth seats, lieutenants, and captains. These are parameters of strength and power based on the actual rank. For example, to be a lieutenant in Bleach, your spirit powers have to be at least 6 class. That's a fact. To be considered a lieutenant, your spirit class has to be at least class 6. Captains have class 3 or lower. These are both parameters for power. To be a Jonin, you just have to impress the fucking Kage. Like what are we talking about? To be a Jonin, you don't have to have an island's worth of chakra. To be a Jonin, you don't have to have the AP of building level or city block level. You don't have to have a lot of chakra to be a Jonin. You don't need any of this stuff to be a Chunin. All you got to do is impress somebody. Do they ever measure chakra levels to determine rank? Ever? Lightspeed. Very great question. Let's ask Godflow and Karibo. Do they ever measure chakra levels to determine your rank? There's 2 reasons they don't. There's 2 reasons they don't. Number 1, as I always say, and as this channel knows for a fact now, as I always say, chakra is not stats. Chakra can become stats when used when converted from stamina, and if you're using chakra control efficiently enough. It is not stats, it is a booster to stats. That's number 1. Number 2, if we were measuring chakra levels, and this kind of reinforces point number 1, how much chakra you actually had would still not determine how strong you were, because point number 1 reinforces that chakra control equals how well your stats are going to be proportionate to what they are. All right. He says, okay, we agree that ranking doesn't determine all the time. But like I said before, when the Naruto world explained like this, Boruto added Jonin. Okay, cool. So we agree. Okay, let me make sure. We agree that ranking doesn't determine all the time. Cool. We agree on that. Then you say, no, they don't do that because the series are different. So listen, the series can be different, right? The series can be different, but everything about the Naruto power system and everything about the Naruto verse, it would be out of alignment. It wouldn't, I'll say this, right? Because chakra doesn't scale to stats, and because your energy doesn't scale to your durability and all this other stuff, if you were to have a ranking system, it wouldn't make sense without those things being present in the verse. Those things would have to be present in the verse, because one would have to logically scale to the other for it to be a ranking. You know what I mean? Or you and your niggas get a cool team name, i.e. Legendary Signing, but that doesn't dictate strength. Oh my God. Hey yo, Splash Malone, don't give him too much, man. Don't give him too much. Let's talk about that, right? So the Legendary Signing. Why was Kabuto on par with Tsunade? Don't tell me Tsunade was nerfed, because she was fighting just fine until she got tagged and saw blood. So things like that. If chakra pool was a factor, all Uzumaki would be born Jonin, LOL. There you go. That's what we're talking about. Now, I get that you said you agree, which is perfectly fine, but since you're here, I'm going to go through the whole thing. Now, you said it is, well, okay, you just agreed that you didn't say that, but like I said, I'm going to go through it. You said it is a determining factor. Well, actually, I'll just speak retrospectively. So, Godflow, when we're having a conversation and I say, yeah, the rank and the skill are associated, this is when you say, I agree with your first half, but, and then you can disagree with whatever you have to say. But I know fundamentally that you believe that the rank and the skill are associated, but not the determining factor, as you just agreed to. So, when you say it is a determining factor for strength, that's when I have to second guess, like, when in Naruto has Jonin been associated with a level of power? That's what I have to do when you then come back and clap back and say it is a determining factor for strength. I gotta go crazy in my head, like, all right, so maybe I missed something, and I know I didn't miss nothing because my memory is really good with anime, especially, yeah. So that's what goes through my head when you say that shit. And then I even try and help you out, bro. I throw you a bone, and I'll be hoping you pick up on this stuff. I say it doesn't matter because the tiers aren't locked behind a measurable standard of power. This should have been a red flag for you, Godflow. When I said a measurable standard of power, that should have been a red flag. You should have thought to yourself and said, measurable standard of power. Does Naruto have anything like this ever? The answer is no. They don't. They do not. They do not, because it would make being a ninja really pointless. If we're talking about, like, you got to understand what type of series Naruto is. Naruto was never designed or meant to be like Dragon Ball Z, where you have to scale to the person's energy. That's not what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be about weaker people being able to take on stronger people despite them being weaker. It was supposed to be about the guy with 50 times your chakra losing to the guy that has 40 less times his chakra, simply because the guy that has 10% of the 50 guys' chakra is better at chakra control. This is what Naruto was supposed to be about. So when you say it is determined by strength, then I got to stop, pause, and say, you got to show me that. Mind you, I didn't ask you for you to show me this because I knew you couldn't, but you got to show me that. All right. Kabuto is never on par with Tsunade. All right. If I go to, I'm not going to do this right now, Karibo. But Kabuto had Tsunade. Bro, I'm saying the same shit. Okay, so you are saying the same shit. Okay, like I said, bro, this is for retrospective. I'm doing this now so to let you know how I was reacting in real time, and just for, like, I want to say, edification purposes, so it can build you up and it can build me up as far as this whole thing goes, right? It is and I used Boruto is at a Jonin scale. My comment is that the ranks are measured in their own ways. All right. So yes, you did say that, right? Mind you, see, like when you're arguing, especially with me, you can't rebut what I said and then go to a whole new argument. Saying the ranks are measured in their own ways is a whole new argument than saying it's determined by strength. You can't say both. I'm sorry, you can say both, but we have to finish the conversation that we started first. Because I'm completely fine with Jonin ranks being measured in their own ways. In fact, like I said, you agree with me, right? Because I said the rank and skill are associated. This means that there are other determining factors that can get you to Jonin rank without just being a powerhouse. Every Jonin can't destroy a fucking mountain. Every Jonin can't destroy a large building. This doesn't mean they're not Jonin level because they can't do that. Like no one from the Nara clan is destroying a building. No one from the Nara clan can do a kidding and destroy an entire. No one can do that, right? But they would be Jonin. So we understand that it's more than just their power, which is why I said they're associated, but not the determining factor as far as strength. Associated, but not the determining factor. I guess my guy, Shikamaru and Lee, have higher amounts of chakra. Hey, they must at this point. Like I said about the many chakra nature. So here's the thing too. First off, we don't know my guy's second chakra nature. Unless you do and no one else does in the world. Maybe you do, I don't know. But if you're a Jonin, number one, most Jonin don't even really utilize. Well, no, I'm not even gonna make that claim. I'm not gonna make that claim because it's fine. I don't even need to go there. They're not the same as DBZ. Facts. I'm glad we can agree they're not the same as DBZ. So when I'm talking about a measurable standard of power, you would have nowhere to go as far as that conversation because one doesn't exist. The standards to become a Jonin aren't solely relying on power. Kakashi and Kabuto are considered equals in part 1. Kakashi and Kabuto are shown to be below the Sannin. Yeah, Kabuto was doing just fine against Tsunade. Why is base my guy capable of making a Katachi and Kasami run, which makes him highly above part 1 Kakashi? Asuma and Kurenai who shit their pants looking at Itachi, and they're all the same level Jonin. That is true. That is see, but like examples like that just reinforce the fact that it's not a power gap. It's not a tier of thing. Oh yeah, because Naruto has bad writing and plot and power system. I don't even think it has bad writing. And here's the thing, like Lightspeed, bro, the power system isn't bad. The power system of Naruto is not bad. It's these stupid new age power scaler kids that took it and started applying things that had no business to do with it. They started making things like universal energy systems and started thinking that chakra was a universal energy system that scaled to your attacks and your durability and all this stuff. That's not how it works. It's these new age kids, I swear to God, bro. My guy only knows fire release. So if my guy only knows fire release, then why is he a Jonin? He doesn't have a second chakra nature. Anyways, that was my little rant. We're going to clip that up. I need someone to clip this up. Because this was fun, actually. I need someone to clip this up. But we're going to get started reading Boruto now. Collect your minds, my friends. Cool. We're only 13 minutes late. That's perfect. That's great timing. Alright. Do anybody know Naruto? Yo. Bro, listen. Hey, Flo. Everyone in here knows Naruto. Everyone in my chat is extremely familiar with Naruto. They're pulling up for me to read Boruto just so they don't have to. But everyone in the chat is extremely familiar with Naruto. There's just no tier above Jonin outside of becoming Kage. There's no cap on the top. I agree, Karibo. There is no cap on the top. But there's also no measurable standard of power either. I think we're not getting that aspect of it. All right? A Jonin can die to a Chunin, Genin, or even a fucking a Kage can die to a Chunin, Jonin, or a Genin. Nothing limits the Chunin from killing the Kage. Not a thing. It's possible. It's in the realm of possibility. Right? A fifth seat cannot beat a captain. In no universe can a fifth seat beat a captain. It doesn't happen. It's 100 out of 100 times impossible for a fifth seat to beat a captain. Because those level of powers between a fifth seat and a captain actually mean something. A D class can never hurt an S class when we go to Yu Yu Hakusho. These level of powers, actually means something. Nigga said lie again. Sound like when you said glass in a vacuum doesn't age. Duh, under certain conditions, yeah, both ridiculous, triplet. So, a red, what you mean, well, actually, there's two reds in here now. There's Godflow, which is Red Devil, and then there's Redhead Shanks, a.k.a. Halo Jeff. A fifth seat was able to be an assistant captain, but I consider you... So, here's the thing. All right. First off, Yumichika is closer to a 4th/3rd seat. He's only a 5th seat because he likes the number 5. Pariah, you should know this. Number two, here's the thing, right? When we get into Bleach, and this is why I like Bleach, because Kubo made this shit so fucking specific, you gotta respect it. Here's the thing with Bleach. There's only a certain number of people who are going to be captains. Does this mean no one else is captain level in Bleach? No. That's not what that means. As there's 13 captains, there are 13 lieutenants. Does this mean no one that's not a lieutenant isn't lieutenant level? No. Why? Because we know in Bleach, they have spirit classifications, like I mentioned before. And if you're 6th seat or higher, you're at the rank of a lieutenant. If you're 3rd class or higher, you're at the rank of a captain. Now, the cool thing with Bleach is that in that show, stats actually do scale to the power system. Isn't that crazy? So, we can very easily tell where people belong by who scales to whom and who can do damage to whom. Oh, God. Excuse me. That was just funny. That was just funny. All right. Nah, I'm the OG. That other red is the young nigga. Hey, yo, nah. Real shit. I think Godflow actually might be older than you, bro. Shanks is the only good nigga in One Piece. Last that. Kishimoto created all these ranks, just never shown how powerful the average level of these ranks are. Instead, he created characters who are those ranks, but they are the exception. No ranks mean nothing. And so, like Lightspeed, in a nutshell, that's what I'm saying. Like, let me be fully transparent with you guys. The ranks in Naruto within the series are important. Okay, they do mean something, right? People do expect a certain tier when they like if someone requests a Jonin for an assignment, they expect a certain tier, right? They expect a certain class of shinobi to show up. Fair enough, but this does not limit. This does not. This does not limit. This does not disable or any other synonym that you can think of. Any other rank being just as proficient. That is the issue. It doesn't limit the rank being just as proficient. Oh, wait. I was on about my mom. Okay. It doesn't limit the rank being just as proficient or better. Yes, 9 times out of 10, the Jonin might perform better. Right? That's not my argument. Never said that. My thing was the ranks themselves are still meaningless because of the fact. And mind you, when I'm saying meaningless, I'm talking about when we get to crossverse and stuff like that. Like I just said or conceded, inside the show, if you want to do that, fine. Jonin tier does mean something. When we get outside the show, saying Boruto and Sarada and Mitsuki are Jonin tier, I'm going to look at you like, okay, what the fuck does that mean? As if Jonin tier ever meant something outside the show. When people say in Bleach, oh, he's captain level, you know that raises a red flag to people like, oh shit, captain level actually means something. Because not everyone can just become a captain. You can't just outwit your way to captain. You're not doing that. There's an actual exam. You actually have to have smoke with people. You got to be recommended by people. Like, You know what I mean? Captain level means much more than Jonin level because there's actually a perceived standard of power. There's actually a perceived standard of power. Even when it comes to the captains, there are enormous gaps between the weaker captains and the strongest captains. Yes, that is true, Pariah. But what is the bare minimum to be a captain? Hold up. What is the bare minimum to be a captain? Spirit class of 3 or lower. That's the bare minimum to be a captain. As well as taking the captain's exam and passing the captain's test and all this other stuff, right? Name one average Jonin level feat and one average Chunin level feat. You can't, because they might be the same damn feat. Let me stop. All right. I got Red here tonight. So I'm happy. Because I have Red here. I have Godflow here and I have Karibo here, right? 2 Naruto guys. This is Godflow's first time doing a live reading. So he'll get to see what I'm seeing in real time when we talk about these feats and stuff like this in Boruto. Captain level isn't that great either, but it's a bit better than Jonin and Chunin ranks. I know the fake ass pirate ranks ain't talking to me. Hey yo. You got shipwrights over there, you got doctors, you got navigators. What do they do? How strong is the average navigator, Red? Hey Trip, what is the average strength of a Yonko commander? Because that also could be anything depending on the crew. Hey Trip, what's the average strength of a Yonko? And then when you give me that answer me how strong is Buggy D Clown? We gonna have a good night. Ranks in Naruto are just military ranks. It shows a level of skill and expertise as well as experience in the field. Power can be an attribute to a Jonin, but it's not necessary for the rank. Thank you, Ronin. Thank you, bro. You literally just summed up everything. Well, you summed up most of what I said, but everything that I didn't say about it. That's exactly right. Jonin and the Hidden Leaf need to be recommended by the Hokage at the very least. Even prestigious clans only have 2 to 3 Jonin. Those occupations, LOL and Bleach. All right, I gotta start reading because I can be in the comments all night with you niggas. I swear to God, I could. I'm gonna start reading though. All right, I'm gonna read Red's comment, then get to it. Yonko and Yonko, YC and Yonko, we see the difference in Buggy and Outlier. Of course. Here's the thing. Here's the hilarious thing, Red. I'm gonna tell you why Buggy isn't an outlier. Buggy's not an outlier because becoming a Yonko was never about strength to begin with. Becoming a Yonko is about territory, right? Connections, popularity, which you can bring / value, and how far your influence reaches. That's what being a Yonko is all about. If you're strong, which most of them are, cool, right? But before they were a Yonko, they actually had to acquire all the things that make them a Yonko. You're not an emperor. You're not an emperor of the sea because you're strong. Why isn't Mihawk a Yonko? Exactly. So Buggy is not an outlier in this case. Buggy is the standard of a Yonko. He is. He has everything that makes him a Yonko. He's just not as strong as the other Yonko, which then again tells us that to be a Yonko, there's not even a barometer of power. To be a first mate, there's no barometer of power. Do these people happen to be generally stronger than most other people? Sure, but correlation isn't causation. Just because something seems To be aligning with another thing and they're happening at the same time doesn't mean one's causing the other. Alright, now let's get into it. Oh yeah, hey yo, Godflow, you'd like Red here, bro. You'd like Trip, bro. He be going off, bro. It'd be funny as shit. I'm not gonna lie. He be hilarious. Let's get to it. Last we saw in Boruto, and let's enlarge this screen. Last we saw in Boruto, Sasuke got his goddamn eye stabbed out. Right? There, I've blocked your pesky space-time ninjutsu. There's no escape for you now. Momoshiki, he's completely taken over Boruto's consciousness. This is the second time I've emerged. It sure is nice being free. Boruto's shattered wrist is healed. Based on his movements, the other fractures are too. It must be his special healing abilities. Okay. Add healing to the list of Karma's other abilities. Actually, that's something we found out. That's something we found out during Kashin Koji, if I'm not mistaken. Don't you want to get rid of it? This annoying accursed mark? So help me out. Let's go crush Jigen and the rest of Car with him. No way, you've got to be kidding me. Come on, Boruto. You've been freed too, Kawaki. Ishiki's soul has been thoroughly extinguished. Where's your smile? I know you're in there. Don't let him control you. Wake up already. Well, I suppose in your case, your freedom is fleeting. Shut up, Wide Eye. Stay out of this. Relax. There's nothing you can do. I said... Come on, load for me. Shut up! And Kawaki does his arm extension ninja tool thing. Buroshiki easily dodges this and throws some kunai. Kawaki is able to block the kunai. He detaches his arm and runs at Boruto. Boruto still has a kunai in hand. Kawaki is running. Let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb real quick. Alright, hey Red, I see you talking shit in the chat. Iba and Asane became captains after 10 years. You can stop trying to downplay. Alright. So Kawaki does an attack. Borushiki dodges. Okay. Hold up. This is base Kawaki though, isn't it? Yeah, this is base Kawaki. Boruto's flying down. Okay, he stabs Kawaki in the back. Good, just as I'd hoped. It seems the extraction has progressed quite far, which means it should work, huh? And then Sasuke kicks Borushiki off of him. Are you okay, Kawaki? Yeah, thanks. What do you mean by that? I mean that even if karma itself has vanished, the Otsutsuki data that was extracted still remains in your body. Interesting. What? Just as with Boruto, the process was about 80% complete in you. That's right, your body is almost wholly Otsutsuki at this point. What? And so, I should be able to use you as my sacrifice to cultivate the divine tree. It might be on the small side, but it ought to still yield a decent sized fruit. He's going to do the same thing Isshiki was planning for Boruto with Kawaki. I'll find the 10 tails that Isshiki hid somewhere, and then feed you to it and claim its fruit. I'm sick and tired of you people using the rest of us like objects. It's pissing me off. Be right back. Hold on. Alright. Okay, so same old song and dance. They want to use one of the Otsutsuki boys to feed to the divine tree. We get it. Alright. So Kawaki comes again. Naruto / Boruto blocks. I'm sorry. I'm going to just call him Momo. Momo blocks with the kunai. Cool. And this is clearly showing that, of course, Momoshiki is above Kawaki. Very clearly. Kawaki hasn't landed a single attack just yet. Boruto. Sasuke. Ooh, hold up. Wait, what? Hold up. Oh, I thought this hit him. Okay. So, Sasuke goes for a slice. Momoshiki sees this. And he's actually fast enough to react. Off guard, by the way. This is really good reaction time right here. Because we don't know where Sasuke is coming from. But this is actually really good reaction time right here. So he blocks with a kunai. Sasuke does lightning style on his sword. And that seems to stun Boroshiki. At least a little bit. He should have easily been able to absorb that attack using karma, so why didn't he? Do you really intend to kill your favorite student, Uchiha Sasuke? And Sasuke swore that he would kill Boruto if he had to. He said, yes, if I must, because I'm his teacher. Eye bleeds. He knows it's the Amaterasu. And so here's the thing. Let me address this real quick too. Amaterasu. If it actually spawned on you, there would be no avoiding it. Amaterasu clearly has an activation time and a travel time. And when I say activation, I don't mean just the eye bleeding. I mean when the move is activated. How do I explain it actually? When the move is activated, more than it just hitting you, and I don't know how to explain this, but more than it just hitting you takes place. Else, when it activates with his eye, he's fast enough to do a jutsu. If it spawns on you, that makes zero sense. Because if it spawns on you, you're already hit. So it's very hard to argue Amaterasu spawns on you when you have cases where people activate the jutsu, then their line of sight is blocked, but then it hits the thing that they're seeing. That wouldn't be it spawning on you. That would it being in your line of sight for things that you see, right? But not it spawning on you. So for example, if Gaara did like a sandstorm and Sasuke tried to do Amaterasu, the Amaterasu should theoretically hit everything in front of Sasuke's line of sight before it hits Gaara. And a feat like this goes to prove that. Because he activates it here, he does his jutsu, and he's able to block it with the last thing Sasuke sees, which is a clone. He used the doppelganger as a shield. If I'm not careful, I'll run out of chakra first. He shoots a fireball jutsu at him. For some reason, Boruto can't absorb chakra right now. That's interesting. Maybe it's because he doesn't have Kawaki's karma to resonate with his own. He didn't absorb it again. I wonder. Lord 7th, Kawaki, listen. Something's wrong with Lord 7th. Must be the side effect of the power he used earlier. This is bad, but we have no time to lose. If we don't deal with Boruto first, we'll all be dead. He really seems to want to take you captive for the divine tree, but he can escape from here using space-time ninjutsu as well. Don't forget that. No, it spawns on where the person looks at. Alright, so yeah, so Godflow, I'm saying if it actually spawned on you, Boroshiki would have gotten hit before he used the clone jutsu because he activated it, but the last thing Sasuke saw was Boroshiki, not the clone, but it hit the clone. So that means it didn't spawn on the person, it spawned on the last thing Sasuke saw. And I gotta stop saying spawn because it didn't spawn on him. If it spawned on him, he would be hit. Yeah. Well, no. Alright. Maybe I need a better word. Maybe I need a better filler word. So wait, the entire series, Amaterasu is still supposed to one-shot these so-called gods when it was used all the way in part 1 against base Jiraiya. Borushiki can tell Sasuke was going to use it by him building up chakra in his eyes. Ten Tails Obito explained that. Yeah, so here's the thing. If we go by panel, if we go panel by panel, this is already the activation of the jutsu. Amaterasu has already been activated. Boruto has... So imagine this. Imagine this. My eye starts to bleed. Boruto has to do this. He has to put his two fingers up and make the shadow clone jutsu hand sign. Right? In the time that's going on, Sasuke sees Boruto, which means he should already... Like, if it spawned on him, this Boruto would be on fire. If it spawned on him. But it doesn't. It hits the last thing this guy saw when it was activated, which was him. And I'm gonna have to write this down because it's a little hard for me to say it because I don't know exactly. I know what's going on, but it's a little hard to convey to you guys, or at least the Naruto guys, what's going on here. Yeah, it's very hard to argue. It spawns because, mind you, if it spawned on you, like for example, take Lilybaro's x-axis. That has a better argument of spawning on you than Amaterasu. Because the minute you're in its line of sight, so to speak, there is no moving, there's no dodging. It already hit you. You can't dodge it because if you're dodging it, you're already too late. The fact that you can react like this tells us that it's not spawning on you. I hope this makes sense. Anyways, he shoots fire. He can't absorb it. Tapped the divine tree. Listen, Boruto lost consciousness because he expended too much chakra. There's a high chance that that's the direct trigger to Momoshiki manifesting. Conversely, if we can restore his chakra, Boruto may be able to regain consciousness. Okay, so he's not absorbing the chakra. Ooh, okay. Okay, so that's why he's not absorbing the chakra, which answers my earlier question of does absorbing a jutsu actually give you chakra back? This would intimate that it does, but we don't know for sure. Let's keep reading. Hey, what's good, Mugetsu? How you doing, bro? I didn't see you come in. He said, "Oh no." He said, "Oh no, I'm late to board." Yes, that was shown in the Itachi battle. It doesn't spawn on you. It shoots at someone in the line of sight. Okay. Okay, so because here's the thing. You're saying you got it, Red, to other Red. You're saying he got it, but I've talked to a lot of Naruto fans. They'll have you believe it spawns on you. Meaning that when it happens, you're already hit. Now, if it did that for every use case and instance, I would agree, but it doesn't. Things can clearly block it. Things can clearly get in front of it. Like the analogy I use with Gaara's sand. For example, if Byakuya was doing Senbon Sakura and he just had blades swirling around him, it would hit all the blades before it ever got to Byakuya because that's in his line of sight. That's what he's visually seeing. He can't see past the blades because they're literally in his way. All right. That's a pretty big leap in logic. You have any proof? Karma. He hasn't made any attempt to absorb jutsu using karma, probably because he can't risk refilling Boruto's chakra. That has to be it. Okay, cool. Good. So we got confirmation that karma does in fact give you chakra if you absorb a jutsu. Put that down in your notes. It has been shown that Amaterasu can be dodged/evaded. This is no exception. See, but here's the thing. If, like Pariah, the example I use with Lilybaro, bro, his attack spawns on you. The minute he pulls the trigger, the attack spawns on you. You can literally say that because it's infinite speed. There is no delay. There is no nothing between the muzzle of the gun and it being shot. If you're in the line of shot and you try and dodge, you're already hit. If Amaterasu spawned on you, there'd be nothing you can do between the activation of it and you doing anything else. If it spawned on Kage, it would have hit the Raikage even if he moved. Does that make sense? Because it activated. That was the last thing he saw. That was the target, but he still dodged it. Meaning it didn't spawn on him. It traveled to him. It traveled at him, stopped right at him, could have hit him, but it didn't. But cool, we got confirmation on that. I want to try and force him to absorb chakra without us going down first. But the usual stuff ain't going to cut it. We might as well. What is that? Ooh. He hit that nigga with a vanishing Rasengan. Hey, yo, Boruto is kind of cold. Too weak to be a mortal blow, but still mighty painful if it hits your vitals. So that was Boruto's vanishing Rasengan. How are you going to make up for... Okay, don't need to see that. He kicks Kawaki right dead in the fucking chest. That's crazy. Resisting is futile. Prepare to get eaten. It's not just about karma. For me... it's not just about karma for me anymore at this point. You're too important to me to leave behind. Right, bro? Damn it. You're a pain in the butt. From the very first moment we met. What is happening? Did he just set this nigga on fire? So Kawaki does a hand sign. It looks like he set Kawaki on fire somehow. Don't know how he did that. Kawaki's being burned. Oh no, Kawaki did the jutsu. So Kawaki ignites himself. What the? That's not a doppelganger, it's him. He's burning himself up. Has he lost his mind? Hey yo, Kawaki's willing to go the distance, man. I fuck with that. Kawaki's willing to go the distance. I fuck with that. Ooh. So to force Boruto to use karma, Kawaki sets himself on fire. Almost blows himself up technically, right? He says, I'm not losing my only sacrifice. He ends up giving out and absorbing the jutsu. Very smart on Kawaki's end. I had no choice but to absorb it. It wasn't a lot of chakra, but I've got to hurry before Boruto wakes up. Boruto's already awake. Go back to sleep. Let's go, Kawaki. It's time. What the? Mode Isshiki, that's enough. Boruto. Ugh. And they're having an internal battle / struggle. I said enough. Go back to your hiding place. You, what do you think you're... Ooh. My head's still fuzzy from having just woken up, so I thought this might help things. Wait, don't. That probably hurt like shit. He ripped that nigga's horn off. That probably hurt like shit, though. Sorry to be trouble. Back at you, stupid bro. Okay, so ripping the horn off ends the transformation. Hold up, I'll be right back. It's cold as shit in this room. God damn. Alright. What we talking about? Oh shit! I'm supposed to go. Hold up, guys. Let me go live on Twitch. On TikTok, real quick. Give me a second, guys. Gotta go live on. All right. If you're reading on Twitch, I'm going to be going live on TikTok / YouTube. The YouTube is Ab-stract section, and we're reading Boruto. I see one person is live on Twitch right now. I'm going to go live on TikTok right now. All right, sending data. Little intermission right now while we get the TikTok stream going up. And we're live on TikTok. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Cool. All right, let me read these comments real quick. X-axis also doesn't shoot anything out when used. That's true. Red, that particular time wasn't the x-axis. It was regular Reishi shots. We see when they tried to block Furetsu that this shit went straight through their weapons and still hit him. I'm finna head out. Hey, all right, Godflow, take it easy, bro. I'll finish the rest of the stream later on tonight. Y'all have a good one. Have a good one, Godflow. Shit. Chakra doesn't warp space by existing. If Amaterasu literally spawns by traveling through space, like you say, then an energy cloak is not stopping it. Is Amaterasu not physical now? That's a good point too. If it truly spawned on you, Naruto wouldn't be able to block it with a chakra cloak. It would spawn on his skin if it spawned on you. It's not that hard to tell when Lille is using X-axis. Shots are literally a different color. Then technically he only used X-axis once in the entire series, LOL. Hey, fellow Red twin, that's hilarious. If you didn't know, Red, Ab-stract is my brother. Oh yeah, nah, that's a fact. That's a fact, Flo. Yeah, twin is actually my twin brother. The shots he fired in the womb were blue. X-axis shots are always yellow. He said, yeah. He said, damn, that's wild. Yeah, no, that's my actual twin. How do we know it's always yellow? Because if that's true, then Shunsui was dodging yellow attacks from him all the time and even blocked it. Shunsui? I don't remember that. Practically any time Lille fired, Shunsui was getting hit a lot. And if Shunsui wasn't getting hit, it was because Lille was looking at an illusion or something. But all right, let me check out the TikTok real quick. No. Do I follow myself on TikTok? I don't know. One second, y'all. How do I find my damn lives? That's what I need to do. Let's do this. Ah, there we go. Beautiful. All right. So Boruto Isshiki goes back to sleep. Good. Now we can finally get into the code arc. Oh yeah, by the way, guys, put in the chat for what you want me to read next. One Piece, or should I start reading Bleach? Actually, can I do a poll? Let me do a poll. Oh, I have to be signed in as me to do a poll, don't I? Let's do this. Hold up. How do I make a poll? Maybe I think I can only do it on whatchamacallit. Alright, it's okay. No issues. Chapter 55, Legacy. Let's get it. So Naruto is in his inner world. Over here, Naruto. I guess that means I came to say farewell, so far as that goes. This may be our last conversation, so start talking. Well, you killed my mom, Pa. No, that's not it. We've been through a lot, but that's actually really funny. I'm surprised Naruto didn't laugh at that. I would have laughed my ass off. Nigga said, well, you killed my mom, Pa. No, that's not it. We've been through a lot. All in all, I'm really glad you were around. Thanks. Are you serious? That's it? I thought I was prepared for this, but now that the time's come, I have no idea what to say. The Baryon Mode worked, and we were able to take down the Otsutsuki. I just didn't want to chase my tails and die in vain. So this ain't a bad way to go. I still got a lot of worries. Boruto, Kawaki, the village. Well, that's none of my concern. You'll need to take care of that on your own. Normally, when a Shinchuriki's Biju is extracted, they die, but that doesn't apply to you. The Biju's chakra simply vanishes. It probably looks to others like you're dead, but it's no more than a temporary state of shock. Don't worry, you'll wake up soon. Hold on, wait a second. What are you saying? The Baryon Mode's price is my life, not yours, Naruto. Just so you know, I never once lied to you. At no time did I ever say that you would die. You deliberately misled me. If I told you at the get-go that this power came in exchange for my life, you would have hesitated. Or worse, opposed it outright. Even if you knew it was our only hope. Because you're annoying like that. Alright, cool. This is a very nice goodbye, but I'm going to go to coding Jigen. Cool. So Naruto wakes up. Boruto, how could you worry me like that, stupid? He should have said stupid old man, but he says stupid dad. Kawaki is still armless. See, so Kurama's... I assumed I'd be the one who would be dead. Though I suppose Kurama would still be dead. Though I suppose Kurama would still be dead too then. I never thought it'd end up like this. Not to be rude, but we can talk about this after we get home. Yada, yada, yada. I can't use my Rinnegan anymore. Now you're useless. Let me stop. Don't worry about it. I'm just stating a fact. This is not your fault. We were all prepared to die. We need to count ourselves lucky to have one and survived. Master. The man himself is telling you it's okay, so drop it. Just hurry up and do it, Boruto. Since there ain't no other way. Shut up, I know that. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. Cool, here we go. Yawn. I overslept. Good. All's well. Kawaki, yawn. Damn it, Kawaki, supplanting me and being specifically chosen to become official Otsutsuki vessel. Why would you be upset over that? You know what? I'm going to try and make a poll real quick, Tay. That way niggas can still have the conversation but vote. All right. But then this kind of begs the question, can I join my own stream? This is about to be a mindfuck. Okay. So I've joined my own stream. All right. All right, you know what? That's weird. I don't even like that. It's fine. I'll figure it out later. Okay. I wouldn't waste an opportunity if I'd actually had a real karma instead of this dud. Okay, cool. Ooh, hold up. Oh, that's right, yeah. So it looks like Isshiki has come in smoke. Your code, my most loyal beloved servant. Otsutsuki Isshiki, what are you doing here? How fate indulges in irony. That with all my vessels gone and nowhere for my soul to dwell, its destination would be you, Code, who could not become a vessel. Your soul, the resurrection failed. What happened to Kawaki? I was deceived and betrayed by Amado and was forced to resurrect in Jigen, and thus ended up like so. It caused Kawaki's karma to dissipate, but it appears your karma has remained, you who were not suitable to be a vessel. We are getting some competition. Bleach body Shippuden, but Boruto characters are showing some competition. Alright, Quasi, I see you. Or is that Quasi? Yeah, no. Bleach definitely does body Shippuden. I agree with you on that. And then you said, but Boruto characters. Yeah. So here's the thing about Boruto characters, Quasi, and I do agree with you. They are showing a lot of promise. The Boruto characters are definitely showing, especially in the realm of Jigen and Boroshiki and Kawashiki. They'll definitely be showing some promise in the future. Not right now, but definitely in the future. Quasi, put the spell checkbox for me. Is it Quasi or Quasi? The non-vessel white karma, that is my legacy dwelling within you in the form of pure power. And you shall inherit the Otsutsuki will. In addition to that, the white karma code. Okay. My soul will dissipate shortly, but I cannot allow the Otsutsuki will to be snuffed out as well. Not when we have devoured countless planets and continuously evolved over thousands of years. Sure, go on. What would you have me do? Kawaki or Uzumaki Boruto. Consecrate either of them to 10 tails and cultivate a divine tree. Uzumaki Boruto. Then procure the chakra fruit that the divine tree bears. It is the crystallization of a planet's life. It shall contain everything. A record of all life that ever lived and died on this planet, including me. Eat it and upgrade yourself code. Do that and yourself will... Do that and you yourself will become a new Otsutsuki. Then go forth and devour planet after planet across space. Keep evolving until you become a peerless, unique existence. A god. Cool. Yeah, you're right, bro. I'll make a community post after we're done reading. I'll do that. That's a good idea, Tay. All right, let me catch up to what you guys are chatting about, yapping about. Shunsui was preemptively moving. Even Lille and Shunsui specifically call out the conventional concept of dodging doesn't apply here. Bro, if it's undodgeable, then there's no dodging, LOL, or blocking. One Piece. Oh, yeah. Yes, you can't dodge or block the x-axis. We're told this clearly several times, and no one ever does. That's true. No one ever does. Why the fuck he got a belt over his head? Good question. The only shots Shunsui dodged were his wing highlight files. The only time he blocked x-axis shots, he lost a shoulder and like 30% of his torso. Naruto not knowing what to say is bullshit. This blatantly conflicts with that boring-ass waterfall mind fight with his dark self. How does Boruto retroactively make a bottom-tier moment even worse? Man, oh man. Nigga lost that power and don't know what to do with himself. Mugetsu, how do we know he used X-axis in that instance? All his attacks were yellow when he turned into an ugly pigeon. So wait, Kurama gave Naruto enough power, aka Baryon Mode, to beat Isshiki. Then that means Kurama had more chakra or potent power than adult Naruto with his own buffs and powers since he couldn't alone. Yeah, so it was the combination of their powers. So it wouldn't just be Kurama himself. It'd be a team effort either way you slice it. That was when he was in human looking form. Did his eye light up when he transformed? And that's the confirmation. I'll go check to see if that's is indeed the case. Bro, he said infinite planets. Did he? Then go forth and devour planet after planet across space. Keep evolving until you become... Not infinite, but well, he basically... Yeah, he did tell the nigga not to stop, basically. Isshiki dropping game on code, LOL. I just checked. He didn't hit him with X-axis when he transformed. Okay, you know what? I think I can agree with Red on this one. When Lille transforms, a majority of his attacks at that point are all light. Not to say that the light is slower or faster, technically, right? But a majority of them, he has the God's judgment, light ray beam, the light trumpet attack. A majority of them transform into light. That is the Otsutsuki will. That you shall inherit code. A god, huh? But as a worshiper of Otsutsuki, You were my god. This is why I don't like code. This chair is squeaky as shit. This is why I don't like code, though. And this is the same reason I didn't like Kashin Koji. Have a mind of your own outside of the fucking mission or thing that you're living for, please. So first I want to dispose of those who stole the pillar of my heart from me. This sounds like some soy boy simp shit, I'm not gonna lie. Before I have the divine tree absorb all life. The names of the bastards who destroyed you. Damn it, it ain't working. Tell me again, space-time ninjutsu work. How does the space-time ninjutsu work? Ouch. Have to rely on a fluke. Loosen up. You're stiff as a board. It should be easy if you relax. Are you scared that he will emerge again? I never want to experience that again. I honestly can't. But I honestly can't guarantee it won't happen again. My karma's gone for good, thanks to you and everyone else. I lived only to get rid of it, but it turned out that I couldn't do anything by myself. It's the same with you. You ain't likely to solve it all on your own, so stop thinking about it. I'll somehow get rid of the karma, I swear it. We promised to help each other, remember? It's not over just because mine's going. I'm not stopping until we take care of yours too. I suffered from the karma for Wait, what? I need some water. Shit. Damn. Yelling at Godflow fucked up my voice for the stream, y'all. I need a fucking mint or some shit. Excuse the language. Just expressing myself. So does Trumpet, they have X-axis properties? I'd assume it does because it's his ultimate attack. But because of the Nanao's Mickey Mouse ass, Yahoo paddle, we don't get to see what Trumpet actually does. Well, no, we got to see what it does, bro. That shit is ridiculous. That attack is extremely potent. It pretty much vaporized an entire half of the city. We got to see what it does. I wouldn't say Trumpet is X-axis. I wouldn't say that. Only because X-axis isn't a physical attack. So when Lily transformed, I don't think he was using the X-axis when he transformed. A lot of his attacks are actually spiritual energy now. They can be seen / whatever. Yeah, I agree with Grid. Grid is exactly on point for this. Grid is exactly on point with this. I highly doubt it does. Zilliel's light-based attacks and the projectile lists X-axis are definitely portrayed to have separate properties. I agree with the Grid here. Yeah, I agree with Grid, 100%. What's good, TikTok? Yeah, we still reading. Alright. So they're yapping about getting rid of the karma. See, hey, Red, when you come back and read and watch this is all the shit I don't need to see. I get it, right? They want to get rid of the karma. They promise each other they're going to help each other get rid of the karma. They're brothers. I get it. We don't need to read all this shit, though. Quit freaking out and just hurry up and do it, you idiot. What gives you the right to boss me around like that? Yeah, they're fighting over can he open the portal or not. I don't need to read all this. Cool. So he makes the portal. See, I'll read this shit because someone might say something I need to know. No, not yet. No. Who knows? I can't say. Just tell them to keep going, doing their jobs. How are things going to turn out? My thoughts, Dr. Amado. Oh, sorry, you were saying. What? You're sure? Yeah. And Otsutsuki? I see, alright. Rest of the Metacorps here. We'll follow right behind. Naruto and the others are back. I'm told they're all injured but safe. In any case, we're headed there now. Finally home to our village. Yeah, barely but somehow. Okay. Don't need to see this stuff. Alright, cool. Kawaki, the traitor Amado, Uchiha Sasuke, Hokage Uzumaki Naruto, and Momoshiki's vessel Uzumaki Boruto. Now you would think that Code would have Boruto off of his list since he's technically an Otsutsuki, since he has an Otsutsuki living in him currently. You would think he's off the list, but I guess not. All right. Finally, the good stuff. All right. So here's the cool thing about Code's introduction, guys. You guys are going to see firsthand how I got to my conclusions about Damon's abilities. And you're going to see firsthand how I make my video constructing Ada's abilities. This is going to be very important. Come on, load. Let's do it. Let's get to it. All right. Why is it taking so long to load? Come on, load for me. There we go. Now, Amaterasu does not become you. It was your cleverness that kept the damage to our village minimal, which basically makes you the one who saved the village. It really wasn't all that, you know? In fact, I was passed out most of the time. Oh, they got this nigga on a radio talk show. They got Boruto on a radio talk show. That's funny. All right, cool. Kawaki finally gets outfitted with a new arm. Of course not. There wouldn't be, as it's a genuine article engineered from his own cells. Ooh, hold up. Let me read that. I'm speechless. I didn't expect him to regain his hand so quickly and without any sign of rejection. Okay. And that's why it says it's a genuine article made from his own cells. Just one of the spare parts I had made before coming here. This wouldn't be possible if he were an ordinary human. In his whole body, not a scientific ninja tool. Okay. So yeah, remember guys, scientific ninja tool, as far as their scaling goes, I'm comfortable saying people like the Kara Inners, definitely Kawaki, and probably Code too. I'm comfortable saying that their durability scales, it should scale higher than what we've seen. Their durability I would expect to be a few levels higher than what we've seen. I'll leave it there. Yeah, I'll leave it there. That's probably it. Can the attitude Kawaki show some gratitude? Oh, show some gratitude. Take care. Sumeri is brilliant and a quick learner. I'll be in a world of trouble if you chase her off. What's with your attitude, Amado? Acting all bossy and having an assistant. Isn't Sumeri one of Dr. Katsutsuki's staff? Why is she with you? Thank you, Kawaki, but this is what Sumari herself wanted. We were all at a loss when it came to treating your body. It'll be good to have another member on your care team. I still only know the basics, but you can rest assured from here on out. Of course, avoiding injury would help too. Okay. That's right. She likes Kawaki. Okay, I don't really need to read any of this stuff. It's not that important. I don't anticipate any problems with your hand, but don't shirk the routine maintenance. Come back next week. I'm not sure how old Code is, but I would assume he's around the same age as Kawaki. So Code is one of the experiments that Jigen was using to implant a karma into Tay. By the way, weak is the strongest. How do you rank the shoot Stoffel? For me, it goes per Nida, Askin, Lille, Gerard. Though I think it's debatable that Askin is second place because of death dealing OP. Yeah. Well, okay. Are you not counting Uryu and Yugrum in the shoot Stoffel? Are you not counting them? Or are you just counting the 4? Answer that, and then I can answer your question, probably. Okay, that's a hard question to answer. For me, at least. Yeah, I don't need to see this stuff. He's putting on a brave face, but he's more depressed than any of us. Okay. I hate Chocho so much. Why did they make her fat? Like, mind you, it's not the fact that she is fat, like it is, but it's more so the fact that she's following in Choji's fucking footsteps. That's annoying to me, bro. Like, fat ass sitting there munching on a bag of fucking chips. And then Ino in fucking Sai's son looks like he's in special ed. Does he have on overalls? Bob the Builder had ass. Alright. I'm surprised. I thought you'd be a bit more glum about karma. Nah, I was over it a long time ago. I don't know how to act or what I should be trying to do about it. Based on what we've learned so far, both of our bodies are about 80% Otsutsuki-fied already. And for you in particular, the Otsutsuki data is still continuing to extract itself from your karma. And when that's completed, the moment you finish becoming Momoshiki's vessel, you, Boruto, will disappear somewhere. And that bastard was supposedly resurrecting your body. It really sucks. I feel like I'm stuck in a nightmare. I thought of something that you could try doing. Why not prepare your own vessel by giving someone else karma? Now, this is a turning point. See, like, this is just a suggestion from Kawaki, but this ordinarily should be very out of character for Kawaki. Reason being, Kawaki's whole life since he had the karma, all he felt like was that he was a tool to be used for someone else's gain via them resurrecting in him. So why would he advocate for Boruto to do the same thing? Furthermore, this would be an Otsutsuki method of extending his life / reincarnating, which is something he should also hate. To me, this is not good writing. Him saying this goes against what he's fighting for. He's fighting for the eradication of all Otsutsuki. And he hates for what they stand for. He hates karma. So why would he be advocating for Boruto to utilize the karma like that? Not a fan. Alright. Just the 4 because they'd be the obvious top 2. Okay. Okay, so we're picking from Pernida, Askin, Lily, and Gerard. Strongest. Yeah, my top 2. That's so fucking hard, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Pause. See, it depends on how we're basing strength, though, too. So I'll just give it in generalities. In hacks. In just solely hacks, probably Gerard. In just solely hacks. I don't think there's a method. Well, okay, you can destroy his Quincy Cross. So actually, you know what? I'll switch Gerard for Lille. Or for Weijie, as the anime calls him. So in number 1, I'd go to Lilibaro. After that, I'd probably go to... See, I'm mad Kubo said that whole Quincy Cross shit. But he did also say if Kenpachi could destroy it, meaning it takes an extreme amount of force to be able to destroy it. So I will... In hacks, yeah, I'd probably go Lille. No, I'd go Askin. Askin's just nasty. I'd go Lille, Askin, Gerard, then Pernida. In hacks. In like strength / combat power, I'm not going to lie to you guys. Askin so far has the best speed feats out of all of them. Askin was able to dodge and outpace Tanjiro Kurenji. He was able to dodge Oetsu's attack, the first one. He reacted better than all of them did. He's able to keep pace and dodge Yoruichi. So, Flash Master Yoruichi. He's able to keep up and dodge and react to her. But here's the thing. Lille can end all of Askin's existence with a single headshot if he's just utilizing X-axis. Yeah. Like, if Lille is not using Reishi bullets, Askin loses to Lille like maybe 10 times out of 10. I don't really see a viable way Askin can beat Lille. Not really. I really don't. Like, it's going to be too much. It'll be too much. But yeah, that's kind of my order, I guess. Back to him being a hypocrite about putting karma on somebody, my own vessel. Mind you, this is only a hypothesis that I just came up with, but if Momoshiki resurrects and you end up disappearing, if you had your own vessel somewhere, maybe you could also use it to reincarnate. That's one crazy theory. Besides, if I'm going to give karma and make a vessel, that means I have to sacrifice someone else, right? No way, man. Don't worry about that. I've got someone in hand. I've got someone in mind already. Someone who'd be perfect. His name is Code. That's so hilarious. That's hilarious. All right. Personally, I think Gerard and Lille are over Askin. You can easily rank Askin down if you go all out. Oh, you can easily take Askin down if you go all out. But Lille and Gerard are beyond tricky. Yeah, I can agree with that. Lille and Gerard are like, yeah. Like if we're just going off with survivability, yeah, I'd give it to Lille and Gerard. But I think Askin's hacks overall is just ridiculous. Like, the death dealing is just fucking ridiculous. Akamichi use calories for their jutsu. So, they get an excuse to be fat asses, Karibo is what I'm hearing. Before Gerard's evolutions, yes, after them, Gerard just has one of the most broken shrifts. He does, man, he does. Even Kubo said that Askin would die to Gen's poison as long as he wasn't exposed to his Reiatsu prior. Yes, but that necessitates Gen starting off in Bankai and knowing to do that. Gen's not doing that. Also, we find out in fighting in Bleach, it's very easy for you to exchange Reiatsus with someone else. All you have to do is injure them. So I got asked in beating Gin like 10. I got asked in beating Gin like 10 times out of 10. I'm not gonna lie. Baro can literally bypass the hit his cross. That kills him, and Gerard grows that strong due to getting whooped. So yeah, but the thing about that Red, he would need to know where to shoot, first off, and he would need to know to take that cross down. Nigga said, my thing is, if Kawaki felt that way, why didn't he do it? Like shit. Nigga, go give your karma the code. See how that work out. Alright. Back to reading. What's good, TikTok? How we doing? I see y'all in here, TikTok. What's up with y'all? Alright. The only other guy to have survived Jigen's ritual. Yeah, why does nigga got a belt on his forehead? Crazy. Code, what sort of person is he? He's the last Kara inner left. There are still outers, those who do external contract work for Kara out there in various regions, but once all the inners are gone, they'll essentially cease to function. So he's Kara's lone surviving officer. If we can get rid of him, in addition, Code was entrusted with guarding the Ten Tails in that secure hideout in the other dimensional space. After Sasuke infiltrated it, they went on high alert. I probably don't need to tell you, but Ten Tails is a dangerous presence as long as it continues to exist. So long as it continues to exist, so too does the danger of the planet getting wiped out via divine trait. It must be dealt with as soon as possible. And yet, Sasuke's space-time ninjutsu has been disabled along with his eye. And Boruto can't really control his power, so even if we got there, there's no guarantee that you'll be able to return safely. Even if we got there, there's no guarantee that we'd be able to return safely. This Code, he's able to travel freely to and from that space? Of course. He doesn't have space-time ninjutsu, but there are other abilities that make it possible. In which case, we need to do something about Code before the Ten Tails gets misused. That's sound, because once Code is out of the way, we can take our time to decide how to dispose of the Ten Tails. Thank you for reiterating what we all fucking knew, Shikamaru. You're like Sarada, bro. You're not wrong, but be careful. Don't underestimate him. Code isn't like the others. He's special. Alright. So we got some guards guarding a facility. Code walking in the snow. Who are you? Do you know where you are? This is Boris's cult facility, right? I'm an acquaintance of his. Could you just let me inside? Sorry, but Lord Boro ain't here. So go run home. Stupid. Then again, you'd have to be dumb to be gatekeepers in this freaking freezing backcountry. Oh, hold up now. Code is fettered by natural elements? So Aokiji and Toshiro solo the verse? Y'all remember that time Naruto and Sasuke were trapped in a basic block of ice? What do you think would happen if Toshiro, what do you think would happen if Rukia froze them? Y'all think they're getting out of that? Yeah, what do y'all think about that? Halt, this is your last warning. Yeah, before you die. Jigen's ritual, what do you mean? Remember what I told you about when I was first brought to Kara? Oh, that. It's a ritual to screen Otsutsuki vessel candidates. Lots of kids are given karma, and those who aren't compatible have seizures and die. There were only 2 of us left when it came to my turn. I managed to survive Jigen giving me karma. I turned out to be compatible. Like I mentioned before, I passed out at that point and was moved elsewhere. So I didn't see what happened afterwards, but apparently Jigen gave the last kid karma also, but it failed. Just like the other kids that died, his body started to shake and spasm. He wasn't able to become a vessel. For whatever reason, he didn't die. He survived just like me. He was compatible with karma. Alright, where we at? Ab-stract. So wait, since Tenjiro's whole shtick is speed, he low-key got blitzed by asking. Yeah, bro, kind of, right? In the Thousand Year Blood War, they made it more so seem that Tenjiro was outmaneuvered, but it still showed that Askin could keep pace with him. He could dodge his attacks. He could keep up with him, yeah. Ab-stract. Is it fair to say that in terms of sheer raw killing potency, Death Ring is the best attack in the verse relative to the power of the user? Raw potency relative to the user. Well, yeah. Well, in terms of sheer raw killing potency, if I remember correctly, Death Ring concentrates pretty much all of the power of death dealing into a single point, and he can insta-kill a selected target. Like no exceptions. He can just insta-kill a target that it hits. So when you say killing potential, what do you mean by killing potential? Right? Because here's the thing. Death Ring worked on Kisuke. Kisuke is pretty powerful. Hell, Kisuke was going to beat Aizen. Kisuke can injure Aizen. Right? So when you say killing potential, that's what's kind of throwing me off. Killing potential, go in depth more for me on the killing potential aspect of it. To be honest, Askin probably beats Gerard in a 1v1. Better baseline stats, while Gerard is weaker. Askin has time to gain immunity. Askin low-key paralyzes him with Gift Bad. Yeah. Actually, I'm glad you said that, Grid, because I was thinking about that matchup, like actually doing that matchup. And in my head, I had Askin. Askin has much better feats. Askin has the type of ability that doesn't have to necessarily hurt or injure Gerard. So Gerard's not going to grow big from taking damage from Askin. Now, if the miracle can work on things like poison or paralysis, that remains to be seen. But as far as we know about it, you have to be damaged by the miracle. I mean, for the miracle to kick in. So yeah, I'm with you on that one, Grid. I got Askin. Belt, I thought it was a zipper on Code's head. Why Code look like a rejected Guilty Gear design? Lily can spam attacks bigger, faster, and stronger than pretty much every single other Quincy, and can one-shot with each attack if landed, and is literally immortal and intangible. Yeah, Lily, that's why I have Lily over Askin, honestly. And pretty much over most of actually all of the shoot stuff, well, yeah. What I don't like is how they complain about not having space-time ninjutsu, but completely forget that Naruto knows Flying Raijin. Naruto knows Flying Raijin? So the only real issue is getting there, not returning. When did Naruto learn Flying Raijin? I didn't know that. I know he used it with Minato in conjunction. I didn't know he knew it. Absolute Zero stunts on the Naruto universe badly. Toshiro does not compete with the ice dimension. The ice dimension just has regular ice, bro. What are you talking about? Hell no, they ain't getting out of that. And that's Rukia before Bankai. Exactly. And you're frozen solid completely, not just from the outside. That means nothing to raw hands shattering him to pieces. Only thing even somewhat relevant about the ice dimension is its permanent snowy biome. Normal human beings are surviving that shit with some coats. That's a fact, bro. Like, the fact that Sasuke couldn't use his Susanoo to get out, Naruto couldn't use his Kurama to get out, like, all this stuff, I'm going to factor this shit in when I do my other... If I do, like, Toshiro versus the Naruto verse, All that's getting factored in. If you get trapped in the ice, GG. And Sasuke doesn't even have a Rinnegan anymore. So you're not switching out, which means you have to use Amaterasu. But then again, you're fighting Toshiro's ice, not just regular block ice from Kaguya. So you'd have to scale to that. Man, oh man. If you want to talk about literally anything ice or cold potency in the Naruto universe, just talk about Kayo, who can actually instantly frostbite people. That is a child level Toshiro freak by the way. Yeah, that's an actual fact. Toshiro was giving his grandmother frostbite just by sleeping. The reason I'm asking, see what I did there? Yeah, I like that. Asking. I'm asking like a Stern Ritter. I want to know what would happen if he used Death Ring to instantly kill a Soul King heart that gives Jiraiya the miracle. I don't think he could insta kill Jiraiya's heart. I don't think he could. That's a good thing to hypothesize. Ice that can negate abilities and users' powers on a conceptual level. Some random ass ice dimension freezing at normal physical level. Yeah. Alright, let's get back to it. So Code is dashing at the guards. They're shooting blast at him. Code does a hand motion. Okay, he swipes, sends some claw marks out. Okay. 1, 2, 3. So he does 6 slashes. He's moving really fast. He vanished. Hey, what are these black bands? Okay. Code comes up from behind the guard. Hey, behind you. Ooh. And he gets impaled. Damn. Damn it. He shoots at him. Code blocks with the other guard. Okay. And Code uses his claw marks to send a claw through his claw marks. You've worked so hard, you can rest now. No, don't. Ooh, slits his throat. Moving around has warmed me up a bit. Yeah, Code was genuinely cold in that natural ice. Like, he literally had to move around to get his body temperature warmer. Which, Toshiro solos the verse, bro. And he doubles down, but it's still pretty cold. Let's get inside. He's heavily affected by cold. That's funny as shit. That is funny as shit. Alright. He can't be used as a vessel, but the karma remained. That's possible. It's certainly a rare case, but it's what happened. He survived, and as a result, his body retains karma's aspect of being a weapon. So then here's my thing. Okay, I get it. We don't know what makes someone compatible. So anything's possible when it comes to this. Exactly. There's still a lot we don't know about karma. And the reaction that took place in Code's body is especially astounding. His combat abilities exceeded even Jigen's. Alright. Guys, take note in that. And then ask yourself this question. Does Code's combat abilities... Well, let's read it in context. So Shikamaru says what? Almost every member of Kara, meaning not everybody, has had their body remodeled in order to strengthen it. But it's the exact opposite in Code's case. He's had limiters put in to check his formidable strength. I don't know why they didn't just say put into. They said put into. Like, read that shit. He's had limiters put into, not put into. That's so dumb. Check his formidable strength. in order to avoid the undermining of Jigen's position as leader. So here's the thing, and I always see this, and now that I know the series, we have to talk about the elephant in the room. Amado says his combat abilities exceeded Jigen's. He never states his combat abilities exceeded Isshiki's. So, class, let me know who's stronger, Isshiki or Code, without his limiters. Isshiki or Code without his limiters. Excuse me. Excuse me, miss. Okay. I would say Isshiki. Nigga said Rock Lee. Where the hell did Rock Lee come from, Mobley? You think Code is stronger than Isshiki, Red? That's interesting. Not mad at you, but that's interesting. They tell you Code is stronger, but dear God, does he get slapped by anti-feats? Isshiki is stronger. There's going to be a list of feats and characters in the gap between Jigen and Isshiki. Okay, for once, I actually agree with Karibo on this. I do believe Isshiki to be the stronger person. Because exceeding Jigen's combat potential is one thing. Exceeding Isshiki's combat potential, a lot different. Whereas Sasuke and Naruto could fight with Jigen, they couldn't even stand up a little bit to Isshiki. In fact, Sasuke had to steel himself for death. Alright. In short, he let himself be weakened for Jigen. Is he insane? Code was submissive to Jigen. He harbors a kind of religious devotion toward the Otsutsuki. He's a fanatic. Isshiki especially, he worships as a god. So Code bore strong adoration for Jigen, who had become an Otsutsuki. And for that reason, he nurses intense envy of Kawaki, who was chosen as Isshiki's legitimate vessel. That's how strong Code's feelings towards Otsutsuki are. Actually, there are several cyborgs among those I had created that... Alright, another important part. There are several cyborgs among those I had created that greatly surpassed Jigen's power, but they were all disposed of as per Jigen's orders. Now, several means 3 or more. And he's not talking about Code, because he already talked about Code. So we know one's Damon. Who are the other 2? Who are the other 2 cyborgs, at the very least, other 2? Because a couple is 2, several is 3 or more. Who are the other 2 cyborgs that surpass Jigen's fighting power? And then, you know what? It's important that we understand this too. When he says his combat abilities exceeded Jigen's, this is strictly just talking about physicality. That's important too. It's strictly talking about physicality. But alright. Had you built them to take down Jigen, these cyborgs? Well, yes. It was after It was after that, upon taking into account all sorts of scenarios that I had come up with Kashin Koji, but I digress. To sum it up, Code is an exception who escaped disposal due to his unwavering loyalty. He was Jigen's strong right-hand man. If he finds out Ishiki's been defeated, he will likely seek retribution. By the way, the adult versions of Rukia and Ichigo and Bleach Brave Souls had their strong attacks and ultimates overseen by Kubo. Have you seen adult Rukia's ultimate in Bleach Brave Souls? I have not. Urahime completely destroys and could one-shot literally all of Naruto / Boruto, and you're worried about Rukia and some eyes. Ab-stract, yo, pull up the character trailer for 10 years later. Rukia and Bleach Brave Souls. Kubo directly oversaw their creation. Her ultimate is in line with Kubo's vision of her potential. Okay. You know what? This is good. Because my voice does actually need a break from spazzing on red about that whole fucking Twitter conversation. Alright. You said it was called 10 Years Later, Rukia and Bleach Brave Souls. Right. That's weird. I can't type anything. Let me go home. Fuck it. Close it out. Make a new tab. Let's try this again. He said her OG trailers re-uploaded by the channel XX Hiken. Well, I think I can watch this one. This one's 3 years old. Let's see though. Let's see. Oh, hold on. It's the 1 minute 34 vid on the channel XX. XXHIKEN. Hopefully I don't have to put in the whatchamacallit. We'll see. All right. Cool. Yeah, give my voice a fucking break. Shouting at niggas and shit.
5艇13体の誇りにかけて